Good morning, good evening. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. What I thought I'd do today is a little auction video. So I haven't done one of these for a long time. I thought I'd give you just a little taste of how I look into the vehicles that we're hoping to buy. We do need some bits. We've had a busy week, which is excellent. So I need to get my buying boots on. We use Manheim primarily as our main auction source. The rest we buy predominantly from traders that we've dealt with for years and years. So Manheim is the only auction that we will use really. We do use Aston Barclay a little bit, but haven't bought from them for a long time. I just like the way that Manheim do their reports. They're friendly on the phone. Location wise, they're not, some of them are a long way away, but not too bad to get transport from. I just find they're, of all the companies that we've used, the best to deal with, and the reports seem to be fairly accurate, as much as auction reports can be. So I thought I'd show you what I'm looking at today. I won't go through any figures of how much we pay for the cars. It's not the sort of thing we like to do, but I will show you the trade values and what they might achieve, and obviously I'll let you know afterwards, later on in the day, if we win anything. So let's have a little look. So hopefully you can see, so there's auctions all over the place today, Thursday. Bristol is obviously our most local one. There's 2 lanes running at Bristol, so we've got cars from Sytner, Mon Motors and Heritage Group. And then on lane 2 you've got cars from Bridget and Ford, Hartwells, Hendy and Bayliss. Bizarrely, Bayliss have a dealership directly next door to me, but they won't sell me any cars. So you've got 177 cars there, 177 cars there. You've got 278 cars going through Manchester. And I don't really buy from Manchester a great deal, just because the selection's not always, it's a lot of lease stuff. But I have got a couple on my list for today. Northampton, that's at 1 o'clock. We buy quite a few cars from Northampton, actually. That's one of our more popular auction houses, not a million miles away. I mean, far enough, 100 miles, but still a decent quality of stock there we've found. Shots, way up in Scotland. Unlikely. I will buy from Shots if we really need a good load of cars, and I can buy 4 or 6 at a time, and then the transport works out pretty okay. But obviously if there's only one, potentially not, although there is a Vitara that I'm looking at today. So overall, I think I've got, how many cars have we got on our list for today? Now, this is not an Excel, very swanky looking spreadsheet. I'm pretty old school with stuff. I like to write things down, just the way I've been taught, I suppose. So Bristol, we've got a couple of cars. Shots, we've got 1 car. Manchester, we've got 2 cars. And Northampton later on, we've got 3 cars. So not rich pickings, to be honest, but we are very fussy about what we look at. So let's have a look at this first one coming through at Bristol. So Golf TDI 2-litre match edition. So it's the 2-litre, which is the better engine, more reliable than the 1-litre, performs better as well. It's automatic, and it's done 52,000 miles, 2 keys, grade 1, which is always nice. MOT's October. Obviously, I check all those. That's got a clean MOT at the moment. Anybody can check. If you jump on the government website, you can go right through the MOT history, check for recalls and all that sort of thing. Obviously, that's an essential thing to do. The auction houses will do their own HPI checks, so they should let you know if there's anything mysterious going on there. Tyres-wise, we've got 4 Pirellis, which is really good news, all with good tread, so shouldn't need any tyres. Spec, heated seats, nice. And service history-wise, we've got 2 owners from new and 9 services, last one September last year. So really good history, grade 1. There's a mark on the rear bumper, which is just a little touch-in, and there's a very small PDR dent on the front door. And then in terms of the mechanicals, 38 out of 39. They say there's an ancillary component noise. Very often these reports will have an ancillary component noise, so it might just be a squeaky auxiliary belt or something like that. But we'll see what happens when the auction goes on, because if nobody in the auction hall is bidding, likely that noise is not very nice and there might be a problem with the car. But if people in the auction hall are bidding, then that gives you a fair chance that the noise is nothing much. That little warning there doesn't give me huge amounts of anxiety. We buy quite a few cars with that. That seems to be a very common note that they put on these cars just to cover themselves. So in terms of figures on that one, cap clean. And remember, cap is just a guide. Some people stick to it absolutely religiously. Cap is current auction prices, and that will give you 3 trade prices based on condition. And it's you can get a daily one or a monthly one. So cap clean, they always give the clean figure, 8,950. I think we can retail that car at 11,750. £150 for prep. It shouldn't need any tyres, but we'll do an MOT and oil change and so on. And obviously there might be a couple of other bits. Auto Trader rating, now that is quite important to us. 92 out of 100. So that is a car that should sell pretty bloody quickly in our area. There's a sensible margin. However, it's a Golf, it's a grade 1, it's an automatic. So you can probably chuck that out the window. Margins wise, we probably don't go for as big a margins as a lot of garages. We don't sell prestige cars. We sell quite straightforward, simple cars that don't have huge amount of problems. Obviously, we're buying nicely graded cars as well. So obviously we have a margin to work to, but we need cars. So that will be a tricky car to buy. You know, say that car goes for 9,500 with your fees, it's going to be £500, so that's 10,000. Got to get it back from Bristol, so that's 100 quid. You're at 10,1. You're only working on 1,500 quid start. Obviously, prep I've put 150, but it might need pads and discs all round, and all of a sudden you're left with £1,000, including your VAT, your warranty that you've got to pay out. So we do our own warranties, but if there is a warranty claim in the 6 months, so you can end up with very, very, very skinny margins from auction, but needs must sometimes, unfortunately. So next one, Suzuki Ignis. I like these Ignises, they're cool little cars, quite angular shapes. We seem to do really well with them. This is an SZT, so it's a nice spec, got a reversing camera. 14,000 miles, 2 keys. Obviously it's only a couple of years old in July. Good tyres. Now it says it's grade 3. It's been serviced once at Pontier Suzuki Newport, which is just down the road from us. So it's due for a full service now, which will be its second service. One owner from new. Now it says it's grade 3, but all I can see that there's a small scratch on the roof and a very small stone chip on the door. So can't see an awful lot else going on there. Obviously it's got a clean mechanical report at 2 years old. Again, not much of a margin. It's got a poor Auto Trader rating, but we actually do pretty well with them. So again, Auto Trader rating is a guide, not necessarily. I don't pay too much attention to it because you have to use your own experience as well. I think you can't just go, right, that's that, not buying that because the Auto Trader rating is rubbish. I know that we sell those well, so it's not going to prevent me from buying it. Cap clean 12,200. I'd expect it to do less than that. It's not a cap clean vehicle, primarily because of that, and a retail of 14,000. So that would be nice around the sort of, I don't know. Obviously, it's not going to need a great deal of prep, but that would be nice around the sort of 11,600, 11,700 mark. Would be nice with the fees and so on. And we have got one at Shots, which would have to be very cheap because the transport's going to cost me a lot of money on that. It's an automatic Vitara. Again, an SZT. This one has sat-nav. Done 53,000 miles. Grade 2. Good long MOT. Tyres all with good tread. 2 owners. Full Suzuki main dealer service history from the supplying dealer, I would imagine. 2 owners. Again, a couple of stone chips. And there is a couple of dents on the bonnet, which Lee should be able to do, all being well. Worst case, if it goes Pete Tong, then we'll get a bonnet for it. But they look like they should be able to come out using the PDR. And it's got a clean shore check. The shore checks are good if you get the cars back quickly and it's not as described, then you can, it is a shore check for a reason. You pay that as part of your fee. So that can be returned to Manheim. I think we've only had one in the, I don't know how many cars we've bought from Manheim, but hundreds and hundreds. So That's on my list. Cap clean 9.4, retail 11.5, £300 prep because I think the bonnet's going to take a bit of love. Decent Auto Trader rating, 79 out of 100. Like I say, it's up in shots, so that's probably going to cost me £400 or £500 to get it back. So that is going to have to be quite a cheap car, but I like the look of it in the yellow. Something a bit different. Next up, we've got a Ford Fiesta. Now, this is quite a new car, but it's a bit of a Bogo-based spec. Well, it hasn't got alloy wheels. Look, it's got wheel trims here, Ford wheel trims. Now, the reason I put this on my list is because for a 23 plate car, it's a 1.1. It's done 4,000 miles. And it has got cruise control, air conditioning, and it's been serviced at Ford as well. So that is a car that, to me, screams value for money. 23 plate vehicle, 4,000 miles, retail 13.5 grand. Cap clean 12,150. So that is as skinny as skinny as skinny. It probably won't make 12,150, to be honest. It might do. But that is a cheap 23 plate car. Fiesta for 13.5 grand. That's less than 2 years old with 4,000 miles. That looks serious value for money. It's a VAT qualifying vehicle, which cars from lease companies, cars from companies like the council and that sort of thing, very often VAT qualifying, as opposed to the rest of these vehicles which are on the VAT margin scheme. That takes a bit of explaining. I won't go into it in this video, but that means you get charged plus the VAT, and when you sell the car you have to charge it plus the VAT, so that would be 13.5 grand, including the VAT basically, on the invoice. Now the next one is probably my favourite car of the day. Toyota Aygo. It is a JBL edition, which I think was the speakers, wasn't it? Was JBL speakers? I might be completely wrong. October 2020 registered, just less than 14,000 miles. Reversing camera, nice spec, auto lights, one owner from new, full Toyota main dealer service history, and good tyres all the way round. So for us, that is a proper bit of kit, and it looks cool. It's this grey, I think it's got black wheels and the orange bits as well, and the same on the inside. So I think that looks the part. So that is probably my car of the day. There's a couple of bits on here, but it is a couple of little dents for Lee to do, and a couple of stone chips to touch in, but nothing drastic at all. And that caps at 9,450, 11.5 retail potentially, not much prep on that, 150 quid, obviously some touch-ins, and a semi-decent 45 out of 100 is okay on the Auto Trader rating, but I think that looks a fun little car, so I'll be on for that one. And then I'll quickly run you through these because this video is getting away with me. I was trying to keep it to 10 or 15 minutes, but let's hustle on. And later on at Northampton, 3 cars. I think they're all at this Ford main dealer, Alan Ford, up there. We've got a Kia Picanto. This is bread and butter, Bowen stock, absolutely. 12,000 miles, 2 keys, grade 2, sat-nav model. It does say sat-nav on the main listing, but not on here, so they've probably taken the SD card out. Good tyres, Continentals, and full Kia service history. Only downside on this one slightly is that it's in red, dog dick red, whatever red you want to call it in the trade. We've all got different names for it. So that's the only thing that might hold it back slightly, which might mean it's cheaper for us to buy. I'm not adverse to a red car. It brightens up the pitch nicely. So, yeah, you need a bit of colour in your life, don't you? Values on that, 8875 is cap, retail 10750, prep 150, only 24 out of 100. So that's a car that you're potentially not going to sell overnight. Certainly not, being red. But it is the sort of car that we'd probably be able to buy because it may not achieve that figure there. On a car like that, if you've got a £1,500 margin once you've had fees and the car's got here, absolutely fine. It's not going to cause you any trouble. It's not going to cost you a fortune to prep. And it should be a car that can pretty much be valeted and put straight on the pitch. Whereas the next car, there is a big margin, in theory, but that will be blown out of the water, I'm pretty sure. And it's a Golf GTD. Love a Golf. You can't go wrong. You can go wrong, they can be expensive, but lovely cars to sell, lovely cars to drive. They just tick so many boxes, don't they? So GTD, automatic, 46,000 miles, 2 keys. We put new MOTs on every car, but it's got clean MOT history. Now, the bit I liked about this one, tyres look fine, but it was this picture here. It's got the full Vienna leather interior. Now that is nice. That's a rare option, and it's an expensive option on these as well. So that is a real selling point for this one. It's got a nice spec. It has got sat-nav as well. It's on the main listing. 2 owners, 10 services, the vast majority at Volkswagen. The last at 44,000 and now on 46. Prep-wise, not a great deal at all. There's a polishable scratch on the back. There's a stone chip on the bonnet. And the wheels have got a few marks. So we'd obviously have to see those in the flesh, but we'll potentially get those refurbished, almost certainly. Especially if you're going to be charging top dollar. Now, this is the sort of car that the price there is very much reflective of the spec. So on Auto Trader, you can add the specification to it. Sometimes it auto-fills on the Minis and the BMWs and that sort of thing, but on the Golf, I've had to add the spec to it. And I'm also not pricing it in good. That'll be a fair price car. The service history is smack on, 10 services. It's nice ownership, 2 owners. It's lovely miles. So that is going to be, that is not going to be the cheapest Golf GTD in the world, but it will be a very, very nice one. I've allowed £400 prep, including the wheels. Obviously, we shouldn't need tyres, but if it needs brakes, then it does add on from that. Decent Auto Trader rating, but that will look a lovely car on our forecourt. So, but I do think that'll be smashed out of the water, unfortunately. It's strange, isn't it? Some cars you think, I don't think that'll make cap. I think that'll be slightly less, and I think that'll be way over. Way, way over. And then finally, Kia CEEE''D, as they used to call it on Top Gear, 16 plate, 53,000 miles. It's a 1.4 petrol, so nice low insurance group. And it's probably going to want a couple of tyres on the front. 2 owners, decent service history, 5 services, is due a full service now. And a nice spec as well. Again, grade 2, won't need a huge amount. Does need a little bit of, I think it needs the front bumper, a little smart repair on the front bumper. But this is like a more price range bit of stock. I actually think there's a decent margin in that. It's the sort of car that still looks good value. It's a nice size, it's a nice shape, it's got a good spec, it's still nice low mileage, it's low running costs. So that ticks an awful lot of boxes as like a 5-door family hatchback. Cap 4625, I think it will stroll over that 7250. I think we can retail it at. Auto Trader's a little bit less than that. I've put £500 prep because it does need a little bit of paint, even though it's a grade 2. But a good Auto Trader rating nonetheless. So not a huge amount to go at. What's that in total? 7-8 cars. Yeah, so bearing in mind there were, how many cars did I look through there? 2 lanes at Bristol, 800 cars. And I've got 8 on my list. So you can see how difficult it is and how time consuming it can be as well to value all these cars, go through all this, not the service history so much because you've got that, but go through the MOT history, check the spec, do your Auto Trader valuation. Out of all those cars, to only have 8 on my list, we may buy 2, possibly. So it is a very time-consuming job looking at auctions. You can buy a batch in one time dependent on what's there, but there isn't that much for us today. We are really fussy, which is why we really like dealing with traders that we deal in, week out, because they know exactly what we want. They WhatsApp me, the deal's done in 10 seconds. I don't have to go hunting for it. And they normally quote me a price delivered to our door here. But I thought I'd give you a flavour of the auctions today, and I'll try, if I'm in the office and there at the right time, I'll try to write down the figures that the cars sell for if we don't get them, but I will conclude this video later on. See you then. Right, so we're back. It's later on in the afternoon. Auctions are all done. How do you think we got on? Well, I'll tell you. Not bad. 2 cars out of the 8 that were on the list, which is acceptable. I would have liked more, but when you've only got 8 and the prices are so high at the moment, it is tricky. But the 2 I bought on paper, delighted with. So let's take a look. So, first car purchased, Golf. We did manage to get that. Pirelli's all round, nice specification. Yes, it's red, but I do like a bit of red sometimes. I'm not so offended by it like some people are. I think it brightens up the forecourt nicely. Only 52,000 miles. My computer's gone off. What has gone on here? We're back. There we go. Sorry. 9 services, 2 owners. Should be a good news car. It's registered March 16 as well. So I believe it's got the Blue Motion tech, which means it'll be cheap road tax as well. So that'll be a nice economical car. The boys are going to go and fetch that one in the morning because it's only at Bristol, so only up the road. So they're going to go and fetch that one first thing. Just to remind you of the figures on that one. Cap clean was 8,950, retail 11,750. I paid many amounts more than that. So I am going to have to probably price it up at 12,000 to be honest. And we'll see how it goes from there. But it was a car I didn't really want to leave there. It's 92 out of 100 rating. It's ready to rock and roll on paper. So I'm pleased with that one, albeit paid a fortune. I'll come to the other car that I bought in a minute. We didn't win anything else. I missed the Ignis. I was with a customer. Vitara went for 9,200. That was below cap clean, but it was way up in Scotland. And bonnet was quite badly dented. So that was there or thereabouts, but you think with the fees it's 9,700, it would have been 10 grand by the time it's got to me. Minimum £300 prep, you're left with a bag of sweets, aren't you? Fiesta, this surprised me how much this went for. 12,200. I would imagine it's a main dealer that's bought that because I can't see a future for that when the retail's only 13,500. Aygo, I was 100 quid short on that, so I had 9,500. I was prepared to pay for that one. And it went for 9,600, which was a shame because that was a nice car. Kia Ceed went for 5,300, 7,250 retail. Really, that's a 6,995 car, and it did need a fair bit of prep, so that was expensive in my opinion. And the Picanto, I had 8,800 for that, and it did 9,050. Poor Auto Trader rating, as you can see. Now, as you can see, ticked. I did buy the Golf GTD. Now, if I think I paid a lot for the red one, I paid a king's ransom for this Golf GTD. But again, on paper, it ticks a lot of boxes. Good tyres all round. It's got the full Vienna leather, which is a really nice added option to have. It's only done 46,000. It's only had 2 owners. Service history is really good, 8 of them at Volkswagen, 2 at Independent towards the end. And as far as I can see, there's a chip on the bonnet which is touching in, a machine polishable little scratch by the badge on the back, and then some wheel refurbs. Clean mechanical report. That capped at 10,600, retail 14,500. Yeah, it's going to have to be more than that. I paid... that's just not even in the right planet as to what I paid for that car. But it looks a really nice thing and should tick a lot of boxes. And that one is in Northampton, so I'll get that one collected. I've got a guy over there, Jamie, who will do that for me more than likely. And then, like I say, the boys are going to go and fetch the red one from Bristol in the morning. So hopefully we can get that one on for the weekend as it's grade 1. Hopefully. That shouldn't need a huge amount to get it online. So, all good on that side of things. Pleased. 2, they were probably the 2 that of course I'm going to say that, it's a video about auctions and I'm buying cars, of course I'm going to say they're the 2 I really wanted, but they probably were the 2 I really wanted. Golfs are just all round very good sellers. Sounds like a Golf, looks like a Golf, probably is a Golf. So yeah, we'll get those 2 back, but we've sold 6 this week, so I'm a bit behind on the buying. But that was just a little flavour of what the auctions are like. And it does go up and down. Some weeks the auctions, you'll be able to buy plenty. Some weeks I won't even get near any of those regardless of what I'm prepared to pay. But it's the game we choose to play. So no doubt there'll be more auction videos in the future. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please do give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It does make a difference and I'm enjoying doing them. So we'll see you on the next. Take care.